we from? Who's from California? Anybody? Couple of you? Yeah? So we're going to talk about the mental edge, and I work with athletes all over the world. California, I just get ready for a world title fight with Alima McFarlane on Saturday night up in San Jose. She's an MMA fighter. She's fighting for the Bellator World Championship. And then in June 7th, I have another MMA fighter fighting for another world championship. So I do a lot with MMA, a lot with pro surfers, USA volleyball, USA weightlifting, USA bobsled, you name it, I've done it. I've done motocross, I've done NHRA. So I understand sports, I understand motorsports, I understand hard work, I understand effort. Here's what I also understand, that there's commonalities between great athletes. There's commonalities between great athletes. And what's in common is they have an unusual amount of drive compared to the average person. They have more drive, and as a result, they develop their skills to a higher level than the average person. Take away the drive, you have some very high skilled people that could be great at something, and they're not great because they don't have the drive. So you are going to a school that allows you to maximize your sport. So I'm assuming you have some pretty good drive. So I want you to do this. If you're taking notes, I want you to write down what your dream is. What your dream is, if you could fulfill your dream for your sport. Take a moment and write that down. There's no right or wrong. Let your mind go. And while you're doing that, I'm going to take a sip of water. So by the way, when you write something down as a goal or a dream, your chance of succeeding that, making that happen, goes up drastically compared to just thinking it. Now, my son was 10 years old. I was doing a seminar in Laguna Niguel, California. He was sitting in the audience. It's not often I do seminars close to home, so he came, handed out seminar workbooks, and he wrote down that his dream was to play at the Pyramid in Long Beach, which is a brand new stadium at Long Beach State. He barely started playing volleyball, but he loved the game. He was pretty good through middle school. He was okay, not great. At 16, he was on a top team that went and played in the Junior Olympics. They got the silver medal, but he was considered the weak link on the team. He was good, but not great. In high school, he played, and he got by. When high school was over, Long Beach State didn't come calling to play at the Pyramid. It looked like his dream wasn't going to happen. So he went to Irvine Valley College, and he grew, and he blossomed. He got bigger, stronger, faster, jumped higher, and he led the team to the state finals or semifinals. He was team MVP. He was first team All-League, and he was ready to sign with the school of Missouri, a small school. And the last day of signing, before he was going to leave for Missouri, he gets a phone call from the head coach at Long Beach State, says, "We want you to play at the Pyramid." And he did. He wrote that down when he was 10 years old. And all along the way, he had obstacles, challenges that said, "You're not going to make it." He never quit. He had desire, and he made his dream a reality. That's the way the mind works. I had a swimmer come to me, decided she wanted to be an open water champion. You swim 6.2 miles, right? It takes about 2 hours to swim that. Every day and every night, she would swim 6.2 miles. That's 10,000 meters. 10,000 meters in the morning, 10,000 meters at night. Then she'd work out with me on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday for 2 hours. When she started, guys, are you ready for this? She was losing races by 7 minutes. She was getting crushed, just annihilated. When she went to go find a coach to help her become a better swimmer, they said, "Not going to help you. You don't have what it takes. I don't want to take your money." She read my book, The Mental Edge, got a hold of me. That's when I worked with her a year later. From losing by 7 minutes, she won the USA National Championship by 31 seconds, became a member of the U.S. national team, became a paid professional athlete, became a cover girl fitness model, and the rest is history. The point is, you make up your mind, this is what I'm going to do. You write it down, you commit to it, and you let the passion and energy cause you to do the work whether you want to or not. You swim those 10,000 meters at night. You swim them in the morning. You box with me on Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays. You do what needs to be done whether you want to or not. If you're taking notes, write this down, please. Champions do what needs to be done. Champions do what needs to be done whether they want to or not. Champions do what needs to be done whether they want to or not. When you're that person, sky's the limit. You will rise to the top. You'll be the best you could possibly be. Because most people do this. Well, I know I should train today, but you know what? I'm kind of tired. And they don't. I know I should ride today, but you know what? My legs are a little gassed. So they don't. Well, you know, I need to go do this program, but my friends are having a party. So they go to the party. And guess what happens when it's all said and done? They don't maximize their potential. They don't become the best they can be. And their dream never happens. Champions do what needs to be done, whether they want to or not. Okay, with that in mind, what are the reasons why you want to do what you want to do? Why do you want to take your sport and be as good as you want to be? What drives you? Some people say, well, it's just personal satisfaction. Or that's what my mom and dad really want me to do. Or I got this gift from God and I want to praise God and show him how much I appreciate the gift. Or if I can become successful, I can buy my mom a house, right? There's all these reasons why people do things. None of them are right or wrong. They're just ways. What drives you to be the best you could be? Give you an idea. You've got 2 baseball players. One from San Clemente, California. Nice weather, good people. Their parents have money. Dad's an architect. Mom's a school teacher. Got a comfortable life. If the kid becomes a great baseball player, wonderful. If he doesn't, wonderful. They're still going to have a great life, right? And you take another kid from Nicaragua who doesn't have a good life and has no chance of success. And his family has lived in generations of poverty. But this kid's a really good baseball player and knows the only way to get out of this poverty is to be a Major League Baseball player. Who are you going to pick? The kid that has it all, who has no real reason to succeed other than he likes to play baseball? Or the kid who says, I've got to get out of poverty, and when I do, I'm going to give my parents a great life. You see the difference? Which one's probably going to be successful, all things being equal? Yeah, the second one, right? The one who has a reason to make it happen. You guys ever hear of a football player named Tim Tebow? Some of you might have. He's a guy who was really good in college, one of the best college football players ever. And he played in the pros, did okay, but didn't really manifest itself to be as great as he wanted to be. So now he's trying to play professional baseball. It's amazing that he's like 28 or 29, and he's a multimillionaire, and he's riding around on buses trying to play professional baseball in the minor leagues. But Tim Tebow would play football, and every time he'd do a great play, he'd get on a knee and point to the sky, and he was praising God. Well, whether God's paying attention to football, I don't know. But what was his reason for playing football? He wanted to praise God. See? He had a reason to show that. Other people, there was a fighter named Oscar De La Hoya who won the gold medal in the Olympics for boxing. And while he was preparing for the Olympics, his mom was diagnosed with cancer. And he said, Mom, I'm going to win this gold medal for you. He said, baby, you don't have to do that. Do it for yourself. No, Mom, I'm going to win this gold medal for you. And he says to this day, he never trained harder or more intense than that time when his mom was diagnosed with cancer, because he was doing it for a higher level, you see? So why do you do your sport? Is it because you don't want to go to normal school? It's just fun? Hey, that's okay. But if you want to be great, what are the rewards? What are the benefits for being successful? You want to look at those, because the more you have, the more successful you're going to be. So the more reasons why, the better chance it's going to happen. That makes sense? So if you go to work and you just pick up a paycheck, that's one reason. But if you go to work and pick up a paycheck and help people, that's another reason. If you go to work and pick up a paycheck, you help people and you love your job, that's another reason. Who's going to be the better employee? The person who shows up to get the check, or the person who gets the check, helps people, and loves their job? See how that works? The more reasons why, the better you're going to be at what you do. So I'd like you to write down 3 things you're really good at right now. 3 things that you go, this is what I'm good at. As an athlete, as a student, as a person, doesn't matter what it is. Write down 3 things that you know you're good at. And there's no right or wrong. And so as you're writing, some of you have them already written down. As you look at those 3 things, which one is absolutely the most important thing to you right now? Of those 3, what's the most important thing that makes you good at what you do? Look at number 2 and look at number 3. Put them in order. 1, 2, 3. These are 3 things I'm good at, and then list them. The most important, the second, and the third. Now, what you're good at, let's say it's motocross or whatever you're doing, right? What are the 3 things that make you good at what you're good at? 3 things that make you good at what you're good at. If you only come up with 1 or 2, that's okay too, but try to get 3 if you can. Like one guy says, I'm a good surfer because I'm flexible, I'm powerful, and I'm not afraid of anything, right? That's why he was a great surfer. Another boxer I know, I'm quick, I can take a punch, and I'm smart. What are your 3 things that make you good at what you're good at? Being aware allows you to get progressively better. If you're not aware, it's hard to get better because you don't know what you're good at. You don't know what to work on or accentuate. And with that in mind, write down your number 1 challenge of getting better at what you're good at. Like the boxer says, I'm good at these 3 things, but you know, my footwork needs to be better. The surfer says, I'm good at these 3 things, but you know what, I've got to land I got to finish my waist stronger, right? So everybody has something they can get better at. What's your 1 thing you can get better at right now? Write that down. So as you look at what you're good at, what your strengths are, that's a positive thing. Now you're going to use those positives to overcome the challenge. I need more endurance. I need more strength. I need more accuracy, whatever that is, right? You're going to build from your strengths to work on your challenges. That's a great model for life. We want to make what is easy, easy. Too many people make what is easy hard. Oh my God, it's so hard. I'm not good at math. I'm just not good at it. Or I just don't have endurance. My body's not made that way. And as they start feeding themselves those lines, guess what? They're right. They're not good at math because they keep telling themselves they're not good at math. They take what is easy and make it hard. I just don't have the kind of endurance. I'm not made that way. You're absolutely right. You just made yourself that way by how you talk to yourself. How you talk to yourself is how you become. How you talk to yourself is how you become. In other words, you are the result of your most consistent thoughts. If you think you're going to be the world's greatest BMX rider and you work in harmony with that, chances are you're going to be really good. But if you think, man, I can't even get out of my heats and this and that and the other thing, I don't know if I should be doing this, well, guess what's going to happen? You're going to be that person because that's the way you feed your mind. There's a great baseball player years ago. This is even way before my time, named Ted Williams, the last guy to hit 400 in baseball. He used to say this: all I want is for people to see me walking down the street and say, there goes the best hitter that ever lived. He used to tell himself that over and over and over again. And guess what? He became the best hitter that ever lived. Conor McGregor, some of you know him from MMA. He was a world champion. Conor McGregor was a plumber's apprentice who was an average fighter who talked himself into becoming a world champion. He told himself over and over and over again what he was going to become. And here's the secret, everybody. And what he was going to do to become it. Here's the problem with positive thinking and psychobabble, I call it sometimes. Just believe and you can achieve. Sally Sunshine, positive Paul. But there's no action. There's no action. Nothing changes. They're just positive about a negative situation, which isn't a bad thing. But this is about changing our actions and changing our results. So what's much more valuable than positive thinking is positive action. So we want to believe in ourselves. We want to have our goals, but we've got to work in harmony with it or nothing will happen. I remember hearing, well, you believe and you can achieve. The secret. Well, there's no secret, folks. It's hard work. Believe it, do the hard work, then you can achieve it. Without the work, nothing's going to happen. That makes sense? Okay, now, with the one thing you're going to work on, I want you to write it out this way. So I'll go back to the surfer who said, I need to finish my wave stronger, right? I need to finish stronger is not a good frame for the mind. A good frame for the mind is, I finish my waves strong. That means now, I finish my waves strong. I am a strong finisher. You see the difference? So think about your strength, what you know you're good at. I want you to have the same attitude towards your challenge. And write down, I am. And then the challenge in a positive way. I am a strong finisher. I have great endurance. I always pedal through the finish line. That's the kind of idea we want here. So go ahead and write yours down. Write down what you're going to work on in a positive way. I am, as if you're already there. Champions become champions before they're champions. They do it mentally. They train accordingly. So with that in mind, I want you to close your eyes for a minute. Set your pens and papers down. I want you to close your eyes and sit back and just follow along with me and just see what happens, okay? So close your eyes. Take a nice deep breath and hold it. Exhale strongly. Breathe easy, effortlessly. And I want you to notice what you see when you think about one of your favorite days of all time. maybe a vacation, a birthday, something you won. So notice what comes to your mind when you think of one of your greatest days of all time. What do you remember about that day? What were you wearing? What were you doing? Who are the people with you? How do you talk to yourself when you're doing this? What kind of expression did you have on your face? How good did it feel to have a day like this? Now think about your goal as an athlete, the dream you wrote down. What would happen if you could achieve that goal right now? If you knew you'd be successful, what would you look like? How would you talk to yourself? What kind of expression would you have on your face? How would you breathe? And how would you train your next session? If you knew this goal was going to happen, it was going to happen because of the way you train, how would you train at your next session? What would you look like? How would you talk to yourself? What kind of mindset would you have? That's it. Be that person. Make up your mind to train like a champion before you are. Open your eyes. How many of you can remember a great day in your life? Show of hands. You can remember a great day that popped into your head. Yeah? How many of you could hear things when you thought about that day? How many of you could see colors like it was actually happening now? Yeah? That's how the mind works, okay? So the mind could also work in advance. And you could see yourself being successful like Conor McGregor and taking the actions. How many of you felt like what you saw in the past was the same as you saw in your future, or was it a different kind of feel or vision? How many said it was like the same? Nobody. Oh, one, there we go. How many said it was vastly different or slightly different? Yeah? So here's what you want to do. You want to learn to visualize as clearly as possible. You want to see colors. You want to hear sound. You want to feel things. You want to feel yourself pedaling. You want to feel yourself surfing. You want to feel yourself driving a car. When you visualize, it's just not about what you see. It's a lot about what you hear and what you feel. So visualization works really, really well when it's done properly. So I've trained 58 world, Olympic, and national champions. 58. And every one of them I've taken through exercises like I take with you. So sometimes when you're young, we think things are kind of silly, like we don't get it, so we kind of goof on it. I train the biggest, strongest, toughest, meanest, smartest, most precise athletes on the planet. Men, women, boys, and girls. And they do these things. They write things on their mirror and tape it. They put things in their travel bag, remind them. They visualize before they go to bed at night. They visualize when they wake up in the morning. They talk to themselves before they train. And as a result, they get better faster. How many of you would like to get better faster? Show of hands. How many of you want to take a long time to get good? Just really drag it out. Nobody? So the fastest way to get better now is to take your one challenge, write it down as if you already do it well, tape it to your mirror on a piece of paper, and every night before you go to bed, read it to yourself and feel what it feels like to pedal that way. Feel what it feels like to surf that way. Yeah? When you wake up in the morning, read it like a lunatic with passion out loud. And what we think about most is what we become. So if we think about our challenges being hard and we can't do it, that's what we become. But if we think about our challenges, I am a great finisher, that's what our brain's going to give our body. It's going to figure out how to make us a great finisher. That makes sense? You want to pedal better? You want to drive better? You want to be better at math, better at science? Then you need to talk yourself into that. And you say it over and over and over again. That's how people become Bill Gates. That's how people become ultra successful, because they talk to themselves. When other people don't believe in them, they believe in themselves. They don't say it once or twice. They don't say, well, I tried it, but I lost. Got a young kid, he's 12 years old. One of the youngest athletes I'll work with one-on-one is 12. And his parents said, look, you got to work with him. He's right there. He's getting picked on. He's getting bullied. He's got people that, you know, are just rubbing their nose in it when he loses. And so I worked with him one-on-one. And at first he would visualize and he thought, this is kind of silly. What is this going to do? But he did it anyway. Because remember, champions do what needs to be done whether they want to or not. Champions do what? What needs to be done whether they want to or not. So he did it. And he goes out and he wins the competition. And then in the state championship, he comes in second place, barely lost. His next competition, second place, lost by like 0.2 of a point. Then he won the next one. He's 12 years old and he's doing this stuff. It works, yeah? So to the degree you want to maximize your potential, to the degree you want your goal to be a reality, your dream to be real, you'll visualize. You'll commit to the mental part of your sport. Does that make sense? Because if you don't do it, nothing will happen. It just won't. So I trained the USA bobsled team. They hadn't won a gold medal for like 52 years. And they did everything they could. They got a nutritionist. They hired the world's best developer of sleds. They made the most incredible bobsled you can make. And they still were losing. They called me in to work mainly with their driver, Steve Holcomb, was having some challenges. And everybody said, you'll never work with Steve. He's too negative. And Steve is very prideful. He'll never listen to you. We've tried other sports psychologists, didn't work for him. So I come in with Steve. We get together at the U.S. Olympic Training Center in Colorado Springs. We click. We spend a year together. He's the best driver in the world. He leads USA to the first gold medal in 52 years. And then they win the world championship to top it off. Mental training works. So when you write something down, that shows commitment. When we write it down, we've got to use our hands, so we get the physical part of it, right? We read it with our eyes go to our brain. We read it out loud, it goes to our ears go to our brain. So we're getting this, the physical. We're talking, we're getting the auditory. We're writing, we're seeing. All these things are going on. As opposed if you just think it. If you just think your goal, what senses are you using? Can you hear that? Only internal dialogue. Can you see that? No, just internal visions. Can you feel that? Maybe. So write it, see it, say it out loud. More senses, more reality, more chance of being successful. Because you want to be successful, right? Or you wouldn't be going to this school or doing your sport. So with that in mind, how good do you want to be? How good do you want to be? When do you want to be that good? Are you willing to do what needs to be done whether you want to or not? That's the great indicator right there of how good you're going to be. Because all the great athletes I've worked with and all the great athletes of the world that I haven't worked with, the commonality is they do what needs to be done whether they want to or not. That make sense? Okay. So with that in mind, I want you to write down one more thing. I want you to write down one thing you're going to do better at in school, one thing you're going to do better at in life and interacting with other people, and one thing without a doubt you're going to do in your sport. School, life, sport. 3 things you're going to do better. Write them down. No right or wrong. Let me get a drink of water. Excuse me. When something's easier, it's usually more fun, right? As you get better at your sport and it gets easier, more enjoyable. When school's easier and you know the answers to the questions, you get good scores on the tests, it's easier, more fun, right? And same thing with life. If we're getting along with people better and we have less challenges with our parents or our teachers or our friends, life is easier, it's more fun, right? So commit to that. Sports, school, and life. So when we want to make a change, the first thing we do is we tell ourselves what we're going to do. We tell ourselves what we're going to do because, remember, we become what we think about most. And then once we tell ourselves what we're going to do, we're going to see ourselves doing it. We're going to visualize ourselves writing a certain way. We're going to visualize ourselves paying attention in school. We're going to visualize ourselves getting along better with our parents, right? And as we do that, our brain goes, aha, that's what you want. I know what you want. And it starts giving us that. But if we just go, whatever, guess what we're going to get? We're going to get, whatever. So the brain's a magnificent thing. When you tell yourself what you want and you visualize what you want and you take those actions, amazing things can happen. Guys, I was a C student in high school. I was a C English student. I hated English, despised English. I would never give a speech. I had to give a speech in 10th grade. I wouldn't give it. And the teacher finally said, Ken, if you don't give the speech, you can't play basketball. Well, I lived to play basketball, so I gave the speech. I stood in front of the crowd and I'm shaking. I almost cried. You don't cry in 10th grade in front of the class. You don't live that down, right? So I got through the speech. I said, I'll never do this again. Today I've written 3 books, all from major publishers. My book, The Mental Edge, has been in publication for 20 years, still selling in Barnes & Noble and Amazon. I've given speeches in front of arenas of 14,000 people with Oprah Winfrey and Phil Jackson and all these famous athletes and celebrities with no fear whatsoever at all. Like I'm talking to you guys right now. Why? Because I made up my mind I was going to do what I was going to do and nothing was going to stop me. And that's exactly what happened. We can do amazing things when we make up our mind. We can change our personalities. We can change our bodies. We can change our sport into something magic when we believe in ourselves. But belief without action is nothing. Belief without action is nothing. Yet, if the belief lasts long enough, and we keep telling ourselves we can, pretty soon we start doing, and pretty soon the doing leads to result. Write this down. Results don't lie. Results don't lie. Man, I tell you, I get athletes all the time, particularly pro surfers. I could be the world champion, and they're ranked number 500 in the world, but I'm better than those guys. But you're ranked 500. But if results don't lie. We look at a result and we say, what can I change to get a better result? If you keep doing the same thing, you'll keep getting the same thing. If you go out and plant a seed of corn, you guys ever eat corn? You go outside and you plant a seed of corn and you water it. What's going to grow? Corn. But what if you visualize, I don't want corn, I want green beans. And you visualize real hard, I want green beans. I'm going to plant corn, but I want green beans. What's going to grow? Corn. If you want green beans, what do you have to plant? Green beans. The seeds we sow are the plants we grow. If you want to be a great student in math, you've got to start planting those seeds. If you want to be a great motocross racer, you want to be a champ, you want to make a living as a professional, you plant those seeds now. What we think is what we become. We got to plant the seed, let it grow. People around you will sometimes be negative. You'll lose a competition here or there, people get negative. Results don't lie. You must change what you're planning. If you don't like your results, don't keep doing the same thing. That's the definition of insanity. But this is the way I ride. This is the way I throw the baseball. Well, yeah, they're hitting home runs off you left and right. Stop doing that. But pride gets in our way. Well, this is the way I always ride the bike. This is the way I was taught. But it's not working. Results don't lie. Anybody hear of Tiger Woods? Tiger Woods, I'm telling you, this is the most amazing thing. Hadn't won a major since 2004, I think it was. And he wins the Masters the other day, the most prestigious golf tournament in the world. And he wins it because he kept changing what wasn't working. He went from being great, messed up his life by his own accord, and fought through it. And he kept losing and losing and losing, and people were negative, and he doesn't have it. He's never going to make it anymore. Guess what he did? He says, I'm going to find a way. And he kept changing what he was doing. Multiple back surgeries, multiple changes in his swing, multiple changing coaches. And finally, he breaks through because he learned something. You can't keep doing the same thing. Results don't lie. So take a look at your results. What do you need to change? Go for it. Make your sport an adventure. Make your schooling opportunity something amazing. Be a great student. Be a great child to your parents. Be respectful. Be all those things that make your life better. And by all means, maximize your potential. Make your dreams come true. You've got what it takes. Nice talking to you all. Have a wonderful day, okay? Take care.
Thank you so much, Ken, for joining us. We really appreciate it. You make me want to read the book all over again. So I think we're going to incorporate that into our life skills electives this year. So thank you. We usually ask our kids if they have any questions. Do you have a couple minutes for some?
I have a couple of minutes. Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Anybody want to ask Mr. Baum any questions about today's presentation before we let him go?
Thank you.
Hey, you're welcome. That's Jace or JC. How do you say that?
Jace.
Yeah, all right, buddy. Nice to meet you. Thanks for paying attention. Appreciate that.
I have a quick question. Are you related to Frank Baum for the, no?
The Wizard of Oz guy?
That's right.
Yeah, it's kind of ironic. My family's from Kansas, and my dad grew up on a farm, but no, we're not related.
All right. Last
All right,
hit.
guys. Have a wonderful day.
Okay.
Bye-bye.
Thanks, Ken. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye, everybody. Thank you so much for coming. I know that Tasha's taking attendance, and there'll be extra credit coming your way.